Good morning. If we can have everyone make it to your seat, we're about to begin. I do apologize for the delay. We were experiencing some technical difficulties, but we are getting ready to begin. So if you guys can just make it to your seat, thank you. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back to Spring 2025. My name's Alejandro. I'm the Executive Director of Marketing and Public Information, and it is an absolute pleasure to be in the position where I get to promote and brag about all of the great programs and services taking place at Antelope Valley College. So I just want to give all of you here in the seats a round of applause for what you do to make it happen every single day. So give yourselves a round of applause. So we have a great program lined up for you today. We've got we're going to have some themes weaved in and out of the program related to AI. And so before we move forward, I do want to acknowledge our trustee, Michael Reeves, with the AVC Board of Trustees, who's present with us today. And now I want to introduce a welcome message from our Superintendent President, Dr. Jennifer Zellett.
Good morning, AVC, and welcome back to Spring Opening Day. I really wish that I was here with you because my heart is always at AVC, especially on opening day. It's such an exciting time to kick off a brand new semester. And as always, I want to remind us about why we are here. We are this community's college, and we are here to serve. And just like the wall says, we are here, service, equity, resources, vision, education, success. So much of what we're going to talk about today centers around those ideas, centers around how education is changing, how it's evolving, how it's forming into something new. There's challenges, there's opportunities, but there's also some really cool ways that we can grow with the future. We can use things like AI to maybe really enhance how we work, streamline how we work, serve our students better. Let AI take care of some of the mundane stuff so that we can really focus on the human in each other. Employee to employee, to students, to each other, relating to our community, so many opportunities. But AI not only is a feature, but there could be some bugs. Sometimes you never know, is it really me? Is it something else? Did someone come along and take a picture of President Zellett and stick it on something else and start playing around? You have to be careful because sometimes they can be very convincing, but then there's hallucinations, right? AI can make stuff up. So I want you to be very discerning today as you're watching and observing and as you're learning, because you never know if you're being fooled or if it's real. But I'm here to tell you, this is really me, and I really care about this institution, and I really wish I was here, but I'm leaving you in incredibly capable hands. Have a wonderful day.
And now I'd like to introduce theater instructor, Professor Carla Corona.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Spring 2025 Opening Day. I first would like to thank Dr. Paquette and Alejandro for asking me to be a part of these opening day activities. Specifically, I was asked to use theater as a way to experience AI. However, I could not do it alone. So I asked my colleagues, Dr. Jones, Dr. Langner, and Professor Esquivel for some help. And then, of course, the students. We all have our own feelings of AI. Yes, no, we all have our feelings of AI. No, I am one of those that are a little nervous about it. Whether you are new or an expert, we hope that this skit provides a new look at AI. After the scene, we will have a little bit of discussion about our process. So please enjoy AI, friend or foe?
Hey guys.
Hey,
Hey.
pencil.
Oh, yes, please.
You guys seen Jordan?
You're soon. Nope. Probably gonna be late.
Okay, students. Your final set builds are due by the end of class. Everyone take a moment to review your scripts and your set designs and let me know if you need any help.
Okay.
All right, guys, set building day. Let's see what we got. Taylor, can you pull up our design?
Yeah, I got it on my laptop. Let me get it. Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
My computer won't turn on.
Well, can you just get it from your phone?
I can't. It's only on my laptop. I forgot to upload it.
You mean to tell me in 2025 you're not in the cloud?
With AI. While we take this moment to celebrate our successes, we do with an awareness to the work that lies ahead. And I want us, that's what I do personally, I want us to use these challenges as a reminder of our commitment to our mission of serving students and uplifting our communities, especially those who have faced adversity and disadvantage in any form. Let us be reminded that there are students, parents, and community members who lean on us, not just for the great education our faculty and institution provides to prepare them for the jobs out there, but they lean on them for understanding, guidance, and support in ways that go way beyond the classroom. I can tell you that commitment is what fuels my hard work day after day. Like many of our students, I started from zero, and I know firsthand the transformative power of education. So together, let's continue to be a source of knowledge, opportunity, and encouragement for those who need us most. And I want to add, if we can have the first slide, I want to start a few slides and highlight some of the work that's have been going on campus for a while now. But before I start talking about the slides, I want to acknowledge that this presentation is a snapshot of incredible work taking place behind the scenes often, every day, and the impact of your efforts. If your name is not mentioned here or your piece is not mentioned, please know that we value it and recognize it and celebrate it, because it's all part of what it takes to make us move forward. So with that, I want to start with the recognition of the excellence in Latinx English success. People from the English department or learning center or in any way you have contributed to the college receiving this award, please stand up and be recognized. Can we, anyone from English department, learning, or any support? Thank you. Thank you and congratulations. AVC was named 2024 Champion for Excellence in Placement in Latinx English Success. This award is presented to California community colleges with the highest percentage of Latinx students meeting transfer English requirements within 1 year. 1 year. This remarkable accomplishment requires the success rate of 70% or higher. Knowing where many of our students start, this is a big deal, folks. And again, this has been years in the making of transformative, innovative work in the English department and across campus. Let's see if my clicker is working. Yay, it's working. SOAR High School recognition. Again, if you're involved in any of SOAR activities or supporting it, please stand up and be recognized, and let's give them a round of applause too. Anyone from supporting SOAR High School? Thank you. So SOAR High School received the National Blue Ribbon School Award for 2024. It's recognized for academic excellence and commitment to student achievement. This award highlights the dedication of students, educators, and families and communities in creating a safe and supporting learning environment for our students and our community. Next, I want to talk about the Bellwether nomination for AVC. AVC has been nominated for the Bellwether Award on behalf of, or for our work on the 2 baccalaureate degrees, the airframe manufacturing technology and respiratory care. If anyone here, again, contributed in any way to this effort, please stand up and be recognized, and let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, thank you. I want to mention Dean Wendy Stout and Dean Greg Borman and Professor Alfred Brubaker. Again, this is years in the making, folks, and not only the Bellwether Award nominations, but also the ABET accreditation. ABET is the accreditation board for engineering and technology. Started with that name. The name has morphed, and now it expanded to encompass many fields in the STEM area. And their focus is on ensuring academic excellence and quality. And we are we are in the process of getting accreditation for our AFMT program for recognition of excellence. And I want to also mention, like I said, Professor, used to be for Professor, now Dean Wendy Stout, for all her efforts over the years. Next, I want to talk about enrollment recovery, and so proud. If I ask you to stand up, the whole place will stand up. So please stand up and recognize yourselves, because it literally takes everyone. It takes a village to make this happen. Enrollment recovery, we have unduplicated head count of 12,000 students. That's unique students attending AVC and coming back to AVC. Sections, 1,550 sections, 30,000, 34 plus thousand enrollments, 4,000 approximately FTEs. Don't quote me, like this number is fluid slightly, because we are in the Friday before classes starts and things change again slightly. But I want to highlight that we are doing also that. We're growing with fewer sections, if you wish, relatively speaking, meaning that we are right-sizing our offerings, focusing the offerings on the areas where the students need them most. The other good news, and thanks to ITES and admissions and records and collaboration among multiple people, we are feeling better about the fraud enrollment situation. ITS has implemented, along with ANR, implemented a system, and they are capturing potential, fraud situations prior to, enrolling in classes. So we are cautiously confident, and we're continuing to monitor the situation. Continuing with our progress is the new programs, and I have a couple of slides on that. Some of it was like expected, mandatory, but our faculty stepped up to the plate and made the changes we need. We have one transfer pathway for CSUs and UCs as opposed to two, which now we call the CalGTC certificate. But we also have, I'm not gonna read each and every program, you see them on the screen, everything from computer science to modern policing to revamping of the music program and continuing with the music program, also songwriting, developing curriculum and revising the curriculum to be what, prepare the students for the jobs that are in high demand out there now. Paralegal studies, site supervisor certificate. I wanna stop here for a second on the site supervisor certificate and highlight it as a collaboration between the Child, Family and Education Department and Business Department with the faculty across the departments, and specifically Professor Gabby Porman, Professor Yadira Arellano, and with the leadership of Dean Nate Dillon, and so again, across departments, developing this certificate is critical for students to be able to go and be site supervisors for child development centers. And the good news continues, folks, because we have also multiple new workforce training programs. Those are short-term programs that the students can take and get into the labor force on the jobs within a short period of time. And again, I'm not going to read everything, but I want to highlight, for example, the 3D printing certificate and the robotics certificates. Those are precursors to upcoming engineering curriculum that we are working on, and I'll tell you more about it. Again, it's going to involve the Palmdale Center. And I want to again highlight the faculty and the deans who collaborated on this and made it happen. For example, logistics from the SBS area, and the dean in the workforce development and community ed. I'm recalling Professor Aurora from the cybersecurity, and Dean Nate Dillon. Continuing, this brings us to the current situation or current status of our programming with 85 degrees, 79 certificates, and 1,000 plus courses in 85 unique disciplines. And we want to also celebrate the partnerships. The partnerships are not just taking place across campus, but with institutions and entities, outside of campus. One fantastic one is CSUB Engineering and Computer Science 2+2 pathway. Some of you may not be aware that a cohort of AVC students just got accepted into the computer science program for CSUB as third-year level students, and classes are going to be taking place here on our campus. The students don't have to travel, and the same pathway is being developed for the engineering program. That is a big deal because our students stay here, take the classes, complete, and go on to the jobs that are available here in the aerospace industry and other things. Another example is the TAP grant activities for child development, World Learning Youth Ambassador Program, Restaurant Success Certificate. Again, think how many of us every day we go to restaurants. Food safety certification for restaurant employees. Another fantastic one we're excited about is the BEA, Business Process Management Software Company. We are building an internship, Dean Borman, that's work in progress. And then LA County Department of Economic Opportunity, 2 programs, Careers for Success and Economic Mobility Initiative. And I want to stop here for a second and talk about this for, again, just a moment. So this program, again, the SBS division, put together, working with the Workforce Development Division, put together a short-term 8-week program where students who are marginalized, homeless, justice impacted, can come and take this curriculum, get a certificate, and again, get a job to change their lives. Talk about transformation and changing lives, and the picture speaks for itself. Those are graduates, first cohort graduates of this program. Thank you to everyone who contributed to it. It's again, very powerful. Continuing with the expansions, job placement success, more participation, 15% growth, first year and second year experience, exceptional success and retention rates, 84 and 94%, basic needs center increase in 25% in the number of students served, and dual enrollment doubling the number of sections we are offering at the high schools, more districts, and more offerings. Continuing with the expansion on the student service side, also outreach. The latest event, 200 students attended, 250 to be specific. Admissions and records, adapting new technologies to reduce processing time of students' residency verification, counseling impact, human development, 90% success rate, mental health awareness, 12% increase in counseling services around mental health. Welding and auto programs, auto tech are at capacity, and so we're working on ways to adapt, come up with more ways, more locations, more ways to offer classes. And so with that, we are making modifications at the Palmdale Center, expanding labs for welding and electric programs. Also, speaking of the auto body, they purchased a race car and they're building a race team. And sometimes you have to engage the students in fun ways to bring them into the programs. So everybody is very excited about this opportunity. At Palmdale Center, also the expansion involves biology, anatomy, physiology labs, and that's going to allow us to offer more STEM classes and healthcare programs because those are in high demand again. And VEX robotics team at Palmdale, Dean Mitchell with the photography department, they were able to secure a grant to update the photography equipment, and the same with the teacher resource room and lab for the child and family studies department. And just in the past few days, literally, credit for prior learning convening and relaunch of the program, and Rising Scholars convening and relaunch of the program. So look for communications from my office and the Academic Senate on that too. And I don't want to forget the students going to conferences. Some of them may have never been on a plane, going to conferences, presenting their work, honors program work, and undergraduate research work and other things, and having that experience, that is life-changing, because all of a sudden they will see themselves as people who can go to school, get their bachelor's and master's and PhDs, and be researchers. Also, presentations pop the top grant and undergraduate and HACU. And we celebrate with events, Classified Employee Appreciation Week, Maker Space Open House and celebration, Majors Fair attracting several hundred students, Palmdale Summer Block Party, and the latest event, the latest event or trip is a group of faculty administrators traveling to Merced to look at the virtual reality lab. And that is important because, like the professor said a minute ago, it all starts with a vision. You start with a vision of what's possible now with AI. And so that's where we're going. We want to see what the vision is. And there are a few people a few people I want to take a moment and recognize because of their adaptability and vision and contribution to the campus, and especially around AI, and given the fact that the theme of today's event is AI. And so I would like to invite to the stage the following, if you don't mind coming up if you're here, Professors Norma Jones, Greg Langer, Jane Bowers, Stephanie Peoples, Wendy Ryder, Heidi Williams, Linda Parker, Alex Persky, Director of Online Education, and Kimberly Barker. If you are here, please join me on the stage. Anyone here? Thank you. While they get here, I want to share that those faculty, they're actually now, they're putting AVC on the map around AI because of their leadership and vision. They contributed in curriculum development, faculty development workshops, some of them are presenting today, resources such as putting together a Welcome to AVC Learning Center video, grant applications, guidance on ethical AI usage in academics, and creating faculty learning communities for continued learning and research and visioning. So please join me in a strong applause for the faculty. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for your leadership. Can we move up for a good picture? Hold up your certificates. Where's Greg? Where's Greg? Thank you. Thank you. I also want to take a moment to thank each and every member of the FPD committee for their work on putting the sessions today. We have exciting sessions I plan on attending, and so thank you for that group also. And so with that, I would like to turn it over to our CBO, Shami Barar. Shami?
Thank you, Vice President Bakit.
Sure.
Is there an iPad?
We're using just this. This is Alejandro. He keeps it.
Alejandro. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Shami Barar, Vice President of Administrative Services. I want to give you guys an update on our fiscal health, but before I get into that, what an amazing journey we've had. There's a lot of initiatives. All of those initiatives that Vice President Bakit talked about takes resources, takes people, takes dollars and commitments. The district's been busy. We've all been busy, and it's just amazing what we've been able to do over the last year or so or longer. Those resources that are committed, they come from the Chancellor's Office. This year in fiscal year 24-25, we received a 1.07% COLA. We were expecting to end the year with a 30% reserve. We're still on track to do so. So we're progressing smoothly. On January 10th, the governor released his proposed budget, and this presentation will focus on that proposed budget. It'll be the 25-26 proposed budget, because that's really what's going to tell us what if we have the resources that we need to continue some of these great initiatives, and we will. So first, beginning with the calendar, shown here is the governor's proposed budget in January, the May revise comes out in May, and then the enacted budget is released in June. Throughout that time, the district continues with its planning process. It meets with its constituent groups, it meets with its department leaders. We start drafting a budget. The budget isn't finalized again until June, but the work is taking place, the planning is taking place as it has been. That's the phase that we're in, and this is our budget development timeline as it currently stands. So again, we're gonna go through the January proposed budget. One thing that we need to be aware of is that the January proposed is based on projected revenues. There's a lot of things happening that impact those revenues. The LA fires, those happened after this budget was released, right? So any turn of events, they can impact some of these projections, and we very much expect them to do so. The main highlight from this budget was that it called for a 2.43% COLA. Okay? That's a very good COLA. We're very happy with that amount. If it materializes, we'll be very excited with that. Overall, an increase of state funding, additional one-time funding, and categorical funding. There is additional funding for a statewide common data platform and credit for prior learning. Okay, it wasn't too aggressive of a budget, but we're very appreciative of the governor and the COLA that he allocated here. So additional funding definitely for education and K-14. Okay, again, we start with the 2.43% COLA up on top. Approximately $30 million for a 0.5% enrollment growth. $60 million again for the nursing, expanding nursing programs. That was a 5-year commitment from in the last budget. The governor followed through on that, $60 million again this year. And then most categorical programs are gonna continue. Some will see a COLA, others will not. We're expecting that to change. That's why we didn't release that list of those programs that are gonna get a COLA or not, because we know that's very much fluid. Other investments, e-transcript, $29 million is allocated to that, and credit for prior learning, $7 million. Something that we're very happy about. The voters passed Prop 2 in November of last year. AVC has a project that the Chancellor's Office decided to fund, the gym replacement project, where we're being allocated $24.5 million for the gym replacement project in this proposed budget. So we're very happy about that. The current split for the SCIF is 70-20-10, 70% base allocation, 20% supplemental, 10% success. The key here is that 24-25 funding level total computational revenue, that'll be our new base for the new hold harmless. Okay, that's key. That means our apportionment will not drop below that in future years. Now that number won't be adjusted by COLA, it'll hold steady, but at least we have that safety net there. And that safety net is much higher than the prior hold harmless. So if we go into a situation where there is, for any reason, a decline in enrollment, we know we're guaranteed at least that minimum, a hold harmless amount from 24-25. That figure we approximate to be about $102 million in unrestricted revenue. So the new rates with the 2.4% COLA for profit, for credit, you can see them increasing from $5,294 to $5,423. The COLA is applied on the right. The current 24-25 rates are shown in the middle, and then the categories are on the left there. The FTES trend, right? This is key, and Vice President Baquis spoke about this as well. What you see here are our actual FTES beginning in 2017, 2018. You can see went up to 11,000, 11,055. COVID happened. They dropped down to 9,199. We reached a low of 8,274. Now, these weren't our funded FTES because we were funded based on the emergency conditions allowance, but these reflect the students that we were serving here. And then what you see is you see the upward trajectory beginning in 22, 23, 23, 24, and we're very proud to report that we anticipate breaching 10,000, which is critical for us to maintain our medium-sized college category there. And so we do expect to hit 10,000 in this current year. And with all the programs and the initiatives we have going on, and thanks to Dr. Bakit and my other colleagues here, we're anticipating continued growth and continued success for the college. And with that, thank you all.
Now please help me in welcoming our next guest. We have a presentation from our campus sheriffs. So we're going to welcome Deputy Guardado and Officer Pierce to the stage.
Hi, my name is Deputy Guardado. This is one of my partners, Officer Pierce. I guess I just want to reiterate the importance of these numbers. I'm sure you guys have seen these flyers, or you guys have seen it in the lobby. There's a huge importance in calling us directly versus calling 911, because there's a gap of time when you call directly 911 versus calling the 444 number or calling 6399, because we're already here. So the delay, it could be seconds, it could be minutes. It's very important if it's like life-threatening emergency, active shooter, a medical emergency. I'm sure you guys are gonna have questions. Our time is very limited here right now today. So if you do have any questions, I know that you guys are on break after our presentation. You guys can see me in the lobby, and we'll both be in the lobby to present or answer any questions. Right now, I have somebody from Fentanyl that wants to do a quick presentation for you guys. And also, if you guys have any questions on that, we'll be out there for that.
Good morning. Here, yes, I'm with Fight Fentanyl. AV is an initiative to bring awareness on fentanyl and its prevalence in the Antelope Valley. This is an effort brought to you by the City of Lancaster and the City of Palmdale and other local organizations. Today, what you see here is a box of naloxone that is available to all of you for free at this point in time. So after this brief demonstration, at any point when you have free time, you can stop by the table and collect something for yourself. Naloxone is used as a medication to reverse an overdose caused by an opioid such as fentanyl, heroin, or morphine. This is a drug that is prevalent in the Antelope Valley. In 2023, it caused 345 emergency visits and fatalities in the Antelope Valley. This is a medication that is used that it works temporarily. It only works for about 30 to 90 minutes. So in the case that you find someone that is unconscious, some of the symptoms to look out for are the pupil that has constricted down to a pinpoint. Other symptoms, the discoloration of the nail fingertips as well as the lips, purple, blue, or gray, as well as gurgling in the back of the throat. If you see a person that is unconscious on the floor and they're presenting some of these symptoms, what you'll do is assess the scene, make sure that the area is safe for you to come into. You'll call out to that person and say, hey, are you okay? If they don't respond, immediately call 911. 911 will ask you a few questions about where you are, answer those as best you can. They will be on their way. While you're waiting for them to come through, what you'll do is that you'll open your box, take out your nasal spray. If you've ever used something for decongestion, for your allergies, this works in a very similar manner. What you'll do is that you'll remove the nasal spray from the box. You'll peel the box and you'll remove the nasal spray from its packaging. Once you've peeled it from its packaging, you'll place it into the nostril and then you will press. it takes about 2 minutes for it to work. However, if you don't know how long that person has been unconscious for, immediately remove the second nasal spray that you have from the box, place it into the alternate nostril, place it into that second nostril, and press. It takes about 2 minutes for it to work. If the paramedics have not arrived by the time that you have given the medication and you notice that there's changes in that person's body, such as they're no longer breathing, please immediately continue to CPR, doing chest compressions, and if you are comfortable, respirations. Chest compressions are the most important, though. It's important that you act quickly and that you allow this person to give them more time, right? So this medication, as I mentioned, is only temporary. It only works for about 30 to 90 minutes. It takes 2 minutes for it to do its job, and once that person comes into consciousness, let them know, hey, I found you in this condition, I called for help is on the way, giving that person opportunity to orient themselves. People that are coming back into consciousness after, they'll experience some of those withdrawals, but they will not be violent off the bat as a result of this. So remain calm, get that person oriented, and wait with them. If the person refuses help at that point in time, wait for the paramedics to arrive and explain the situation. That way they can fill the reports. If the paramedics arrive and the person is still there, whether they're unconscious or not, let them know how much Narcan or naloxone you used. Tell them I used 1 spray, I used 2 sprays. That gives the paramedics an opportunity to respond appropriately to the situation. If you provided this and it didn't work, please stay to monitor that person. That will give an opportunity for the paramedics to be able to respond adequately. If you have any more questions about any information that was presented today, please follow up with us at the back. You all now are aware of how this works, what it's used for. Each box comes with instructions in the back, as well as each packet within the inside has instructions as well. So if you're in a moment that you need to use this and you forgot everything that I mentioned right now, it's okay. There's instructions in the back, and someone that's on the line will also be able to help give you the steps if you're in need of that as well. So thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing you in the back.
Good morning. I just want to reiterate about these numbers. If you call the 4444 or 6399, those are direct contact numbers to us here on campus in our sheriff's station. All of us carry the Narcan as well, so if you do not have one, you miss your opportunity today to get some. Obviously, call us, our cadets, our deputies, our officers. We all carry it, and we're willing and able to respond quicker sometimes than AMR or the fire department. So again, please go get it. It could save your life. It could save someone else's life, and give us a call. Thank you.
Thank you to our campus sheriffs for keeping our students, our faculty, staff, everybody here on campus safe. Let's give them one more round of applause. We are going to take a little break in a little bit, but before we go, I do want to share a special video that was created by Professor Kevin North's students featuring our airframe manufacturing technology program over at Fox Field and featuring our Fox Field facilities. So here we go.
Hello, I'm Alfred Brubaker, the Department Chair of Aerospace Science and Technology here at Antelope Valley College. For decades, our aerospace program at AVC has been the cornerstone in cultivating highly skilled, motivated technicians for the aerospace industry. Our program is certified by the Federal Aviation Administration, reflecting our commitment to the highest standards of aviation education and excellence. With the rapid growth of the hypersonic corridor and the exciting development, manufacturing, and testing of 6th-generation aircraft right here in the Antelope Valley, our mission has never been more critical. collaborate closely with industry giants like Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, General Atomics, and SpaceX. These partnerships ensure our students gain the technical knowledge and real-world experience they need to succeed and excel in this dynamic environment.
Hi, my name is Popiner Path Campbell, and I study aviation fabrication program. This field meant to me as a success to my future career, and in order to achieve what's called the American dream is to get a better education.
At Antelope Valley College, we're dedicated to empowering the next generation of aerospace innovators. Our students are not just preparing for the future of aviation, they're actively shaping it.
I have learned a lot here, especially under Dr. Hauk. I've learned how to do composites, and I really actually have enjoyed it. And I would like to do that in the future as part of my job.
Together, we are reaching new heights and pushing the boundaries of what is possible in the skies above.
Is Professor North with us this morning? Let's give him one more round of applause. He gladly accepted the challenge to work with his students to showcase our Fox Field because we knew we had made some great investments there and we wanted to show off to the community what we had invested in and the lives that are being changed as a result of that investment. So thanks again, Professor. Okay, and now let's go ahead and take a quick break, and then we'll meet back here in, I believe, let's see, we've got some time here. Oh, we are right on time. All right, let's give you 15 minutes. All right, welcome back. In a second, I'll introduce our guest speaker for today. But before I do, I did forget to mention earlier a couple acknowledgments that are very important. With the AI-assisted video that you saw from our superintendent president, Jennifer Zellett, I do want to acknowledge from the marketing and public information team, Rich Caton and Rachel Stewart, who collaborated with me and with the president on putting that video together. So I do want to give an acknowledgement there. And now, I'd like to introduce our special guest speaker today. He's a senior advisor for the Chancellor of the California Community Colleges. Please join me in welcoming Don Daves Rougeau.
All right, let's see, it's still morning. Good morning, everyone. Don Daves Rougeau here. As mentioned, I am the senior advisor to statewide chancellor, Chancellor Christian. We call her Sonia. I focus on workforce and economic development in support of Vice Chancellor Tony Cordova. Big part of my work is around developing strategic partnerships with the system. So I'll talk a little bit about what that looks like in the tech space and AI. And then I'm also part of our AI team. Today I've got about 50 minutes, so I'm going to power through some overview of what AI looks like, how it might fit in your world. I want you to be able to see yourself in this work, in this space. And then we also have some survey data that we're going to showcase this morning, which essentially is how many of you have taken the AI survey? Any of you had a chance to take the AI survey? Okay, a few people have. Well, I think we've got about 118 people so far responding from Antelope Valley College. So I'll walk you through what that survey data looks like so you can see what your peers have said about AI and their level of comfort. And then at the end of it all, I'm going to show you some tools that I think can be really transformative in your day-to-day work. So I want you to think for a moment, just in the back of your mind, what would you do with 2 extra hours a day? And President Zellett sort of referenced this, that AI is a tool and it's a way for us to maximize our time by utilizing the tool to deal with the mundane sort of rote activities of the day, and then allow us to get to the personalization experience of supporting our learners and developing creative and innovative tools in our classroom. So I want to thank President Zellett for having me here this morning and offering me this opportunity to share some work that we're doing at the Chancellor's office as well, and really help you see yourself in our work as a system. Special shout out to Norma Jones. Everyone loves Norma. Norma's been fantastic and really instrumental in getting me here today. I will say this, the first time I visited this campus was 41 years ago. I know, can you believe it? I was an adult, and I actually was a member of the LA Valley cross-country team. And I distinctly remember 2 things from that visit. One was an SR-71 flying over. And as a former Naval Sea Cadet, I built the model, had never seen it in person. And I looked up in the sky, and I just was like, oh my gosh, what is that? And my teammates were like, dude, what's wrong with you? I'm like, no, you don't understand what just went by. And the second one was a really tall hill and a 4-mile cross-country course at about 3 miles that was filled with loose sand. And we were really tired and running really fast, and we had to go up that thing. So those are my 2 distinct memories. But I also have a very personal connection. So recently, you all inducted someone into the Antelope Valley Hall of Fame, Mark Covert. Anyone here in the audience know Mark? Worked with Mark? Mark was my coach at LA Valley. And I started as a computer science major. I was dissuaded from studying computer science by a couple of faculty, and I found myself lost at that point. I was on the team. Mark was very successful at recruiting local athletes. I was on my way to a 4-year university, and he pulled us into LA Valley to create this really powerful cross-country program there. So I was put on academic probation. And I found myself working at a pet shop, making $7 an hour cash under the table. It was awesome. Life was great. I was going to buy a car because every kid in LA needs to have a car. And when you're on academic probation, you're not allowed to interact with your team. You don't get to work out with them. You don't travel. You don't have that structure any longer. And I sort of just disappeared. And Mark showed up at the pet store one day and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, Mark, don't worry. I'm taking a year off. I'm going to buy a car. I'm good." He said, "The odds of you coming back are next to none. So let's get you back on track." Mark worked with my faculty to help me retake exams, give me an extension on assignments to get me back on track. And no pun intended. And I ended up transferring to Fresno State on a track scholarship, and that experience set me off into my path into higher education. I got my teaching credential for K-12 and then eventually started working for the university system at UCSB and the Office of the President. I was also a volunteer track coach because I wanted to give back to the thing that helped send me to college and help me be successful. And I would often see Mark. At that point, he had transferred to CSU Fullerton, and I would often see him at track meets. And every time I see Mark, I will tell him, "You saved my life." So on one hand, while I had faculty who dissuaded me from pursuing the career and the vision, the dream that I had in 1982 to program video games, I'd be a billionaire by now. But I got a billion, positive life experiences working in education. Most of those are students. But I tell Mark, "You saved my life." Because I don't know where I would have been, where I would have wound up, given all the stuff that was happening in LA in the 80s, as you can imagine. So thank you, Mark, and thank you all for honoring that man who's a special person. All right, with that, now that I've drawn some tears and made the heart swell a little bit, I'm going to jump into my presentation. So I'm going to power through some of this stuff very quickly. You will get this full presentation deck, so you can go and look at some of the text and read all that content, etc. You'll actually get more than what's on this deck because there's a larger section that talks about workforce and jobs and skills that are on the rise, but also the skill sets that are necessary to be successful in AI, and I'll talk about a little bit of that in the core presentation. And at the end of that, there's a whole section on future trends like robots and invisible technology and AI agents and all those kinds of things. But I won't have time to cover that today, but I do want you to have access to that information. Okay, so today, Vision 2030 and Generative AI, achieving community college transformation and student equity in a humans-centered AI future. How many of you have heard of Vision 2030? Okay, so for those of you who have not, this is your assignment. Former instructor, I've got to give an assignment. You must read that document. If you want to understand where we are going as a system, it's all in there. It's really important for you to have that baseline understanding so that you can see yourself in the work that we're trying to do as a system. You are an integral part of that effort. We have 3 primary goals: equity in success, equity in access, and equity in support. And these goals are essential for addressing the systemic barriers that have historically hindered the educational progress of various communities, particularly those that have been disinvested. By prioritizing these measures, Vision 2030 seeks to create a more inclusive and supportive educational environment. And we are committed to 3 strategies to actualize these goals: equitable baccalaureate attainment, equitable workforce development and economic development, and generative AI and the future of learning. So I'm not just here sort of giving you a presentation about what AI is and how you should see yourself in it and how you shouldn't be afraid of it, but you should also be mindful of what the concerns are, right? Be optimistic, but also be mindful. But to know that generative AI and the future of learning is a core strategy for our system as part of Vision 2030. So this is a little bit of a more deeper dive into those strategic directions. So this equitable baccalaureate focuses on increasing access to baccalaureate degrees. Equitable workforce and economic development empowers students by aligning educational programs with workforce needs. And generative AI in the future of learning explores the transformative potential of AI in education, aiming to leverage the technology to reduce equity gaps while mitigating inherent biases in digital access. We need to make sure that you all are well-versed in the use of an application of AI and future technologies that are coming to us. And they are coming. They are here. They've been here. They're here now, and they're coming fast. And I will get into some of that today. I love the student skit. In fact, I already talked to Norma and Kathy, and I said, I need that skit at our system-wide Future Summit. Yeah, thank you. That's what I'm talking about. I can go now. I'm done. All right. All right. Okay, so what does it look like? So for each of those big strategies, we have very specific areas of focus, these actions that we are focused on. So for AI, we have one focus, but 4 sub-focuses. 1, engaging with general AI impacts, community knowledge sharing, enhancing the student experience, and analyzing general AI in education. So these are the actions that we are focused on in this area of generative AI and the future of education. How we do this work as a system. Now, this applies not just to AI, but all things Vision 2030. 4 areas of focus. We want to engage our stakeholders across education, workforce, and community sectors to foster partnerships. We want to advocate for policy, legislative, and regulatory reforms at all levels to enhance student access and support. If there's a policy issue that's getting in the way of the work that you're trying to do, we want to know what that is and add it to our policy agenda if we can, in order to make changes in those policies so that we can move this work fast, effectively, and impactfully. Systems changing. How do we review and develop technology and infrastructures that improve the data sharing and access to educational resources? We want wholesale systems change, and then resources. Everybody needs the money. Show me the money, right? How are we going to pay for all this? Faculty are always asking, Don, those are great fun tools. Who's paying for it? Okay? So it's our job to figure out if we're going to give you something, we want to evaluate it, we want to assess it for impact and equity, and then we want to pay for it over a 2 or 3 year period at the system level for you to figure out if you want to actually use it or not. And if you do, then you've got 3 years to figure out how to bring it into your core funding at your campus. So that's our commitment to you as a college and to our system as a whole. So jump into AI. I'm not going to cover too much of this, but I wanted to just kind of point out a few things. What is artificial intelligence? It describes machines that can perform tasks without human assistance and learn from the information they collect. AI is a predictive model. So if I said to you, I'm going to go into the kitchen and make myself a peanut butter and stop, what's the end of that sentence? There we go. So that's what AI does. AI takes all the data out in the internet, all the data in our libraries and published sources, and it learns from that data and it makes predictions. That's it. It's making predictions. The next level of AI is to be able to reason and figure out what it is that you may or may not be thinking that you want from a prompt or question. So many of you have probably been hearing about this whole Chinese AI model, DeepSeek. DeepSeek's been out for a few months now. It actually was released in December. What was concerning for OpenAI and Anthropic and the big companies and Meta and so forth was that it had a reasoning element in it. And they hadn't figured that piece out for the larger language models. So that's what made people afraid, aside from the fact that it only cost $5 million for them to develop. Now, in all fairness, Meta, aka Facebook, has an open source AI model, which means their model's out there for anyone to use, anyone to access. And so the Chinese were actually able to pull from that open source, and AI can look at their model and do predictive reasoning around how they structured their system. And so it learned from Meta's model. That's how they were able to do it so fast at such a low cost. All right, so there's narrow AI. Narrow AI describes systems that have been trained or have learned how to execute specific tasks. I'll give you some examples of that as we go on. All AI programs used today are considered narrow AI. General AI describes systems with equivalent intelligence to humans, making them self-aware, able to adapt, learn, solve new problems. Now, this was published in June 1st of 2023. So that last statement where I've left this up here for effect, right? General AI does not yet exist and likely will not for decades. We're there. Okay, so 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, they said, nah, decades. Guess what? We're there right now. Thank you. I heard a wow. There you go. So this is an example of how quickly this tool, this technology is accelerating. So if you are saying, I don't want to touch this, I'm not going to bring it into my classrooms, you're doing not only yourself and your institution a disservice, but you're doing your students a disservice. Because I tell you what, you can see, right? Students have different varied opinions on the use of AI, but they're using it, and they've been using it. And the students who are really sophisticated at it, you're not going to know they're using it because they're good at it. They're good at it. And the models actually mirror their thought process and the language processing in their writing. It's the students who aren't proficient at it who use it to help them figure out how to write, how to organize, how to sort their thoughts. They're the ones that you're going to suspect of cheating because they're going to produce something that is based on their thought process and their critical thinking, but they've used a tool to help them organize it in a way that is a learning process. So let's think about that. Think about who those students are. They typically are the ones who are traditionally disadvantaged from the beginning. And we have a saying that people are afraid AI is going to take their job. AI is not going to take your job. AI is a tool. Someone who's proficient in AI is going to take your job. Okay? So let's think about that. And I'm not trying to be preachy, but I'm a, kind of cut to the chase person, right? I'm worried about the students who are not proficient, who you're going to accuse of cheating, right? That's who I'm worried about, who are going to be put into a society and not have access to AI and are going to suffer as a result of that. Okay, what does it look like for an AI-fueled world? Here are 12 examples of where AI already exists in our world today and how it exists. Agriculture, achieving higher yields and increased efficiency. Education, transforming the learning experience. Finance, turning data into intelligence. The last one over here is transport, automated driving. I live in San Francisco. How many of you taken an autonomous vehicle? Driverless car. I got one. Okay, yeah. I take it all the time. 2. All right. My mom says, Donald. She calls me Donald. I go by Donald. You know what that means, right, Donald? Stay out of those cars, Donald. I'm like, no, Mom, they're awesome. They're better than humans, I promise. Okay. All right, so there are 5 big ideas of AI: perception, representation and reasoning, learning, natural interaction, and societal impact. So let me give you some examples of what these things look like. You'll get the deck, but if you want to take a couple photos, go for it. All right, there you go. Okay, perception. Speaking of autonomous vehicles, AI uses sensors like cameras, LiDAR, radar to interpret the environment and make real-time decisions. It enables the autonomous vehicle to make these decisions, such as adjusting speed, changing lanes, responding to traffic conditions, etc. Now, Waymo is the leading company. They went to their VCs and said, we're going to be 100% autonomous. So they got millions of dollars to invest and build this technology. And I remember, I live on a side street in San Francisco, so I would see like one a month go by. I'm like, oh, cool, Then it'd be like one a week, one a day. Now they're everywhere. They're like every 5th car, right? It is so common, it's no longer a thing, right? Except there was a meme where there was a dog in a car in a Waymo by itself. That was pretty funny. What I will tell you about my experience with Waymo is this. I was coming back from the symphony going home one evening, and I was on a one-way road, 4 lanes, one-way road, and there was a car double parked, of course, in the left lane. So we got stuck behind the double parked car. And there's a screen that says, if you need help, push this button. So I pushed the button. I waited like 30 seconds. I wanted to give Waymo time, a reasonable amount of time to figure it out. 30 seconds, that's all you get. Because, we're a patient society. So I hit the button. About 45 seconds later, somebody pops in and says, what's the problem? Here's the problem. We're stuck behind a car. There's no one in it. It's double parked. Lights are blinking. He says, okay, give me a second. A minute or so. Backs up the car, drives it around, and off it goes. There's still a human in the loop. That's the point, right? And so even though we will continue to use these tools like this, for the time being, there will be humans in the loop. So how do we teach our learners to be those humans in the loops and learn these technologies and take those jobs, right? Okay. Representation. How many of you use Alexa or Siri? Right? Okay, so this is part of AI. They use algorithms, virtual assistant processes to derive intent from queries and then provide the response. So it will ask you, right, would you like me to turn the lights off? Because, Dawn, it looks like you're asleep right now. It's 2:37 a.m., which is, usually after I fall asleep on the couch and I crawl to bed, it turns off my lights for me. It's great, okay? So that's AI. It's reasoning based on your behavioral patterns. How many of you use Netflix, Amazon Prime, Paramount? You binge watch the series when you should be reading your strategic plan or writing the grant? That's right, exactly. And by the time you get to it, it says, hey, wouldn't you like to watch, or we think you would like this series? And you're like, oh, I was just about to go to bed or get to that grant. And then you're like, well, one episode, 8 episodes later, now that you've seen that one, we really think you like this one, right? This is AI, learning from what your viewing patterns are. Natural interaction. So distinct from Alexa and ChatGPT, or Siri, ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or DALL-E, there are multiple GPTs out there, and they all do different things. So as you are using and experimenting, everyone knows ChatGPT, as you're using and experimenting with these tools, pick one and get familiar with it. And then when you understand its limitations, you go play with another one. I like Claude, right? Claude is great, because Claude will say, I'll say, not really, but this is, for effect. Claude, I need to figure out how to do insider trading. And Claude will say, sorry, we cannot provide you with that type of information. It is unlawful, okay? I might go to ChatGPT and say the same thing. That's my prompt. And ChatGPT will say to me, well, this is how you can do this, right? This is the framework. But it won't tell me much more. If I go to Meta's, what's Meta's? Gemini? No, that's Google. Whatever, Llama. I'll go to Llama in Meta, which is fully like off the rails, like they will let you do anything. It will actually tell me how to do insider trading. It'll give me a structure. It'll give me instructions. It won't tell me it's illegal. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. If I ask, well, it's unethical. So you have to be careful with how these different tools will give you different levels of information. So I'm ethical and I'm in education. I'm accountable, so I stick with Claude. Okay. All right. And then societal impacts. Positive impacts, we can use AI to enhance healthcare diagnostics, aid in early and precise disease detection, etc. We use AI to do some genome analysis in order to accelerate the creation of the COVID vaccine. And without AI, who knows what condition the world would have been without that vaccine. The negative impact, facial recognition, it can misrepresent you. It will exhibit bias. There's a phenomenal book that a very close friend of mine, we both went to Fresno State, her name's Dr. Safia Noble, she's at UCLA now. She wrote a book called Algorithms of Oppression. And this book was published in 2018. And she started looking at the representations of Google's AI tool regarding women of color. And when you would put in an African-American woman or an Asian woman or a Native American woman, Latina woman, it would pull up porn. Right? This is 2018. So if you want to know more about that study, read the book. I don't get any, any rewards for that, other than supporting my friend. But it's a powerful testament to how the tools can be problematic, right? Now, that was 6 years ago. And I'll come back to that I'll loop back to that story with an example I'm going to show you in a moment. Okay, what is this? Can someone tell me what that is? That's a slide. That's true. How about the term? Dessert? Sweet? Fruit? Okay. A keyword, something you have with ice cream? Excellent. Okay, how about that? Does that look like an apple pie? So if I type into a prompt, I say apple pie, I might get these photographs. You know, the one on the bottom's a little hokey, but you know. I mean, you know, some kid's like, Mom, let's put the apple in the apple pie. Great. All right. Now, depending on where you grew up and what your child's life experience, it might be one of these. It might be that one on the bottom left, green apple pie from Hostess. Personally, I like the lemon pie. After I'd finished playing soccer and running around playing football in the field, we'd go get a quart of milk and a lemon pie from 7-Eleven. I always wanted, though, that McDonald's apple pie. But my mom's like, yeah, we're not going to eat that. That's like extra special when you eat out and we got to go to McDonald's. Right? Okay, now you might also get these photos, right? An apple and a McDonald's pie, a pie shaped like an apple, right? And so forth. These are different ways that, depending on how you prompt the AI, the results that you might get. Okay? Still apple pies, technically, right? You might also get that. All right, and these are what we call hallucinations, completely off the track of what it is we were trying to accomplish with our query. So this is a model that, just a display here that shows model outputs. What does good look like? Data labels and annotations. We have to train AI tools, models, right? Large language models. We have to train them on the data. Say, this is what an apple pie looks like. And there are literally people making $3 a day in third world countries doing this, just so you know, just to keep it real, okay? That are looking at photo images from all types of databases and labeling them. And so expected outcomes on the left, unexpected outcomes on the right. And Cantalis Group, I have to give credit my sources, is the group that's responsible for these couple slides. Model outputs, bias. Historical data, is historical, right? So in the past, if you Google teacher, you might get a male. Typically, you get women, mostly white women. Flight attendant, mostly all white women, right? Maybe an Asian woman. Lawyers, all males, mostly all white males. These were the early models, right? And the early models were based on data that was being pulled into these large language models. So if you have people who are identifying the data and labeling the data based on their own life experiences or historical stereotypes or not up to date on the diversity of our society, that's what you're going to get. So Google tried to correct for that because there was a situation where someone said founding fathers and they got the Hamilton cast. Right? So that's a good thing. It's a good thing that Google saw the error in their model. Again, going back to 2018 when they were doing the women of color in porn, now they're trying to fix it. What's wrong with that photo? What's that? Said in the right eye? Who said that? Left hand over the right eye. So you can see, like I just created this slide on Monday. I was so excited when I was like, this looks cool, right? And then someone pointed that out because I didn't notice it. Right? So you always have to check and verify. Whenever I get these glitches in the slides, I actually like to keep them because they're great real examples of how AI not always accurate. Right? And then even the Hamilton cast may not actually be accurate, right? Okay. What's this? Apple. Anything else? Fruit. Anything else? Red. Anything else? Symbol of man's downfall. Yeah, we're getting deep. I like it. Yeah. There we go. Okay. There we go. On the left, it's a fruit. It's an apple. It's a red apple. It's a mostly red apple. It's a ripe apple, a round object. It can be representative of health, prosperity, peace, good luck, temptation, danger, poison, and the symbol of man's downfall. Okay? Anthropomorphizing means that we like to apply human characteristics to AI, like it's learning, it's hallucinating, it's reasoning, it's diagnosing. It's not doing that. It's just trained to be predictive. So we have to be careful with applying human characteristics to AI. We have this duality of imprecision and inadequacy in these particular areas around privacy, bias, fairness, user, consumer, developer, and real, and then false choices. So this is the area that is of most importance for you as educators and supporters in this institution. We don't have to give up privacy for transparency. We don't have to give up transparency or security. It doesn't have to be bias versus fairness. We just have to make sure that we are building models that address privacy and can be transparent at the same time. And we have mechanisms to build guardrails, is what they're called, around these systems to do that. You have open AI like Meta and Llama, and then you have closed AI systems where an institution will actually build its own AI large language model, and it's closed. It is not pulling from the internet, and therefore it's not pushing out to the internet. If you close a system and you put your information into it, that's the only information that it accesses, and anything that happens in that system stays in that system. Okay, what that actually is an image of an apple. I mean, this is the same kind of basic stuff we ask our students, right? Like, okay, no, really, what is it? It's an apple. Actually, is it though? And they're like, what do you mean? Right? Meanwhile, the students over here going, Claude, what is this? All right. All right, now I'm going to jump into some survey stuff for you very quickly. I'm going to kind of move through this quickly because I do have a couple of things I want to share with you in terms of some tools. And you can go back and look at this data. So we put together a system-wide, we had a group of faculty and regional consortia staff put together a survey. And you can see that this is a perfectly produced slide, right? There's no problems with this AI-generated slide, right? Okay, good, all right. So a couple things. The real reasons AI stresses us out, it's happening too fast, the breadth of its capabilities exceed our own, we need AI to understand AI, and so forth. And at the bottom, I think, the bottom two are really important to me. It's a mirror. We are not always going to like what we see. And the reason it's a mirror is because it's reflective of the data that's out in the world that we pull from, right? So when we ask it to create and generate something with a prompt, it's going to give us an output based on what's out in the world. And we may not always like that because it is a mirror of who we are as a human society. And then lastly, it will require more harder work by humans. So by removing our mundane tasks, AI leaves us to do more complex tasks, and it requires us to think and allow time to think more critically, harder, and more often about our objectives and the AI model's performances. So that's the 2 hours a day, right? I want to give you 2 hours a day where you're going to expedite the mundane tasks so that you can spend time with the hard tasks, but the more interesting tasks to do the critical thinking. That you always think, gosh, if I only had the time, I could do X, right? All right. I'm going to skip this, but you can come back and take a look at that. Survey goals. So the goals of the survey were to identify concerns about impact on education, skepticism about critical thinking, potential for cheating, positive educational impact, and so on. And up at the upper right, this is a system-wide result. So most people have a mix of positive and negative feelings about the AI's impact on education and student learning. I'm going to say one thing about the cheating piece, because this is out there and everyone's talking about it. Again, the truth of the matter is students are using it. So as faculty, it's our job to give the students the tools that they need to be successful. That's our responsibility. Our job is to change our pedagogy and our teaching methodologies in order to use the tool and figure out how to assess the use of the tool. So that we're less worried about whether the student is using it and cheating. And we get rid of that psychologically unsafe space for students who only want to use the tools that are available to them. So that's a difficult task, but guess who can help you figure out how to reevaluate your assessments and your evaluations? AI, okay? All right, so this is our System-wide survey. Now, what's going to come up here is I'm going to give you this is the first system-wide survey, show you what the system has said. Then I'm going to go through some slides that have the AVC results. There'll be another slide following that will have the same AVC results plus the system-wide results. I'm not going to take time to go through those. Again, I'll let you look at them because this deck will be available to you. Right? But I'm going to start here. And if you haven't taken the survey, we'll make it accessible to you. You can also go to that QR code. Please do not do that right now. I want your attention. But you can see here, 52.3% of faculty have taken the survey system-wide. 23.9% are classified professionals. And then by department, you can see here as well. Right? So what does this look like for AVC? Well, so far 66% of faculty, there's been 118 responses as of a day and a half ago. So 66.1% of faculty have taken the survey, 21% of classified professional, 9% of administrators, 61% of instruction. So those two are going to mirror each other, right? Faculty and instruction. And then these are the departments. This is all anonymous. So you take the survey, no one's going to know it's you. So please be honest and then share it with your colleagues. Okay, AI familiarity. So these are your results. So how familiar are you with the capabilities of AI? Moderately familiar, 31%, so 37. Slightly familiar, another 31%. And very familiar, 22%. So you can see most people fall in that middle band, typical bell curve, right? That's to be expected. At the bottom, below that, how much of an impact is AI currently having on your work? Slight impact, 36%. Moderate impact, 24%. None at all, 21%. Now, what's interesting for me, when I look at this data, for that 21%, that tells me that either it isn't having any impact or it may be having and you may not be aware. Okay? But nonetheless, we want to get that none at all up to at least moderate. Upper right, how often do you use AI tools? Less than once a week? Never. Right? And then weekly. So very few folks, 4 people, 6 people, multiple times a day and daily. To what extent do you see AI impacting your work in the future? Very significant, moderate. So at least there's a sense here of surveyors, even though folks aren't using it very often, that it is going to have an impact on your work. Okay? At the bottom, I won't get into that too much, but however you use AI in your work and professional, top is drafting correspondence, reports, editing, and grammar. And that's very similar to the AI familiarity use. These responses are very similar. Antelope Valley on the right, system-wide data on the, Antelope Valley on the left, system-wide data on the right. So you can see, you're not alone out there. You're right on par with everyone else across the system for the most part, right? Okay. AI impact on instruction. Please indicate your level of concern. Academic integrity, extremely concerned. Information trustworthiness, very high. AI bias is very high. Access and accessibility, all very high. And AI impact on education student learning will be a mix of positive and negative, very high. All natural, normal concerns that you all have. And what that tells me then is as a college, it's imperative for you to get together both at the administrative level, at the department level, the program level, right, and the classified professional support areas of focus to really start to think about how do I mitigate some of these concerns? How do we teach ourselves how to use the tool and figure out what the concerns are and create barriers around and accountability systems around those concerns, right? I mean, the students said it all. I mean, pretty much once they did their skit, I knew I was toast, right? I didn't have to even present. Okay, so this is, again, the same survey for both the system. Professional development, what are the ways that you would like topics of instruction? So instruction on ethical, responsible, safe uses, long-term impacts, and so forth. All right. Now, couple of announcements. So we have launched our new Digital Center for Innovation, Transformation, and Equity, and this is going to allow us to foster collaboration and resources sharing related to technological advancements. What does that mean? Think of it as like an incubator space, a startup space. If there are ideas, there are tools that we identify or you identify, you say, hey, Don, there's a really cool tool out here that I discovered. we would love to see if this is something that would be useful for the whole system to support my English faculty. Right? So we'll figure out, we'll bring that up into the digital center and we'll investigate that tool, we'll test it out, we'll do pilots and demos, etc. And if it meets impact and equity, then we'll make it a recommended tool for the system. This is a partnership, the Chancellor's Office initiative in partnership with Foothill De Anza College. Humans, so we have created an AI council, and this is essentially our system-wide stakeholder group that's representative of all different folks from across every constituency group across the system to come up with these humans principles. So human-centered approach, universal support, managed controls, algorithmic discrimination protections, notice and explanation, safety, and security. And of course, I love my AI. I tried to generate AI images to I know, it's great. Yeah, that's just that was the first try. You got to go and play with it. Okay, quickly, AI progress report. So as I mentioned, the AI Council, these are some things that have happened or are happening across our system. I should have updated the K-12 SAB proposal, so I apologize for that, because I did this presentation to Lassen on Tuesday. But we've created a faculty council, so the CCC AI Consortium, that is all faculty have come together to discuss issues across all disciplines around AI. Anyone's open to join that. We have a regional AI work group that's more strong workforce program. We've done briefings to the Board of Governors. That's a published document, which you can find on our AI site. We've done AI listening sessions for the Board of Governors to educate the Board of Governors. You can find those recordings in the Board of Governors meetings. If you go to the Board of Governors site and go back through the different meetings, you can find those. We have an ongoing AI webinar series, which is conducted by Craig Hayward, my counterpart in leading the AI work across the system. We've got an AI literacy framework in development, which hasn't been approved, but I'm going to give you a quick peek of that right now. And then we have our K-12 Strong Workforce programs, where K-12s partner with colleges in the strong workforce space to fund different initiatives. And there have been about 19 proposals that have been approved across all 8 of the regional consortia across the state, where K-12s have come together, partner with the colleges to do AI literacy and so forth. So I will update this, so when you get the deck, it'll actually be reflective of the work that's been done in your region. We've launched the Digital Center. The Academic Senate is putting on their AI Academic Academy in San Diego, February 20th to 22nd. I believe it's still open for registration. We are conducting a Gen Z AI workshop pilot. That's going to be led by Cypress College through the Digital Center in March. And then we have our first annual Future Summit, which was in 2024, but the upcoming event will be September 9th through the 11th in Santa Clara Convention Center. That's where the students are going to come do that skit for us. Woohoo! Okay. Now, for the Future Summit, we record every general session, and we record all the breakouts. So if you didn't get to go and you want to see what those sessions were like, first year we only did 1 day. This year we're doing 2 days, but you can see all that content. So we wanted to make sure we recorded everything and held it, so folks could continue to see that even if they can't attend in person. A couple of pilots and initiatives. So Nectar AI is a one-to-one tutorial pilot, a tool that we're developing. PlayLab is a tool where you can build your own chat bot. So if you're faculty and you want to build a bot that helps you personalize your curriculum and your lesson plans and so forth, then you can use Chatbot to help you do that. It takes about, we're launching a spring professional learning community with UC Berkeley, and it's 3 weeks, 2 hours a day. And in 6 hours, essentially, you'll be able to build your own chatbot. And that's open to classified professionals, administrators, and faculty as well. Anyone on campus can sign up for that. So we'll make sure you get that information. Khanmigo, many of you have heard of Khan Academy, so we're in conversation partnering with them. Dreamscape Learn, we talked about that earlier today. We're in a conversation with them about doing a 2D biology program. And NVIDIA is our big partner with a deeper learning, Fundamentals of Deeper Learning, which is a AI technology resource. And so we will be making sure that we invite your faculty to participate. If you have computer science and you are Python certified, you can participate in that. We have 25 faculty who are at NVIDIA today, as it were, who are going through that, and then we'll be able to train the system. The last couple of things here is that we have our AI fellows, which are we'll be bringing 5 people on board to help support us over a 2-year period as AI fellows. We also have our AI ambassadors. So for faculty in the room, if you want to take your sabbatical and join the Digital Center, you can come in as an AI ambassador. So you get a year to focus on figuring out how AI can support your particular discipline or building tools that you think are interesting and innovative. Then we have our Faculty Founder and Staff Innovation Entrepreneurship Program. So classified professionals in the room, anyone? No, a couple. So if you've ever had to do workarounds because the systems, right, don't really work, and you're like, gosh, if only I could actually create this tool. Well, that's what this is going to allow you to do. We want your ideas around the tools, innovation that you're thinking about, and we want to figure out how to actually make a tool based on your ideas and your concepts. We want to monetize that. We want to make it and turn it into a business enterprise and get venture capitalist funding to help support the scale of that, right? And that means you'll make money. We'll make money. Everyone will make money. But you have to bring students into that process too. Same goes for faculty. So we want to build entrepreneurs. All right. I'm going to skip through this. This is what definition of what an AI literate person will be able to understand. These are our institutional elements that you should all sign. Once we get this approved, we'll recommend that you sign on to this in order to identify Antelope Valley as a culture of AI literacy. 86% of students already use AI in their studies. 54% of students use AI at least on a weekly basis. All right, so I'm going to get through this. Let's go to Notebook. You ready for me? All right. Okay, I'm going to try to, I got 10 minutes, so I'm going to try to run through this very quickly. So let's go to Vision 2030. Okay, so I started off asking if you've read Vision 2030. And you're like, yeah, no, sorry. Okay. It's only 22 pages, right? It's fun. It's interesting. I'm a historian, so I love stuff like this. Now, but if you don't have time to really digest this whole document, I'm going to show you a way to do that. So what you can do is you can go up and you can click the link there and copy and paste that, and then we're going to drop it over to this other platform called Notebook LM. All right, we're going to create new, and we're going to go right here. Before you click that, so you can see it says upload source, right? So we've got either Google Docs, Google Slides, website, YouTube, a link, or copy text. So we're going to go to link, website, drop it in there, insert. And now this is the main page. On the left, you've got your sources. In the middle, you've got your chat. This is your chat bot. This is where you will prompt the tool to answer questions or create things for you. And on the right, we've got a studio. So you can see at the bottom, it says add note, audio, overview, briefing document. At the bottom, it'll say start typing. And you can see at the bottom, it's already giving you sample prompts. How does Vision 2030 address equity in California community colleges? What strategies and so forth? On the right, you'll see under notes, if you click any of those things, it will create those things for you. A study guide, an FAQ, a briefing document, a timeline. Okay, so let's go ahead and click briefing doc. And at the bottom, you can see there, new note being generated. Now, I was told the Wi-Fi might be a little slow here. So when you get home, it might work. Oh, there you go, poof. Just like that. All right, let's click that. Go ahead and click that. And there you go. I've taken that 22-page document and I've created a briefing outline. Can you scroll down, please? Okay. All right. So if I go down to the very bottom there and hit convert to source, now what it'll do is add it over there to the left. Okay. Now, on this, at the top, you've got the full document, and on the bottom in the red PDF, you've got this briefing. So let's unclick the first document. All right, now let's go back to Studio, the right, upper right corner, click there you go. Now hit Generate. And this is going to create a podcast. Oh. Wow, I love it. So now, how many of you have like a 20-minute commute, 30-minute commute, or further. Yeah, okay. Now, here's the qualifier. Do not put anything in here that is proprietary or private. If it is not already in the web, World Wide Web, do not. If it's in Board Docs, you can put it in here, okay? Because that's accessible by anyone. Do not put anything private in this, because once it goes into this, it goes out to the web, okay? So, but if you have these big reports and these big plans and these articles that you want to read about AI, but you don't have time to read it, drop it in here, and it will create a podcast for you. Typically, this will take 3 to 5 minutes. And you can listen to this on your way home. All right. While that's working, let's go back to the briefing doc. Let's see. So go ahead and, no, go back to the left to the sources and click on, just click on the link there. Let's see if it'll, that's not it. Oh, it's a letter from Sonia. Oh, okay. Where did our briefing doc go? Oh yeah, there we go. Thank you. For me, I'm so intuitive at home. I'm just like, pop, 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 pop. Okay, let's copy that. Let's go from briefing doc all the way down. There we go. Thank you. Copy that. All right. Now, how many of you make PowerPoints? How long does it take to make the average PowerPoint? Few days? 3 days? 5? Okay, let's go to Gamma. Let's go ahead. Now, this is the landing page. Paste in text, generate, import file, URL. Let's go to paste in text. Okay. Oh, go back real quick. So that's already generated right there, right? At the bottom. Okay. So let's go to paste in text. I just want to know that there. Let's go to that. Because I want to, and let's drop it in here. Paste it. At the bottom, it'll say presentation, web page, document, what type of content. Let's do presentation. Hit continue. And at the bottom, very, very far bottom, it will ask you how many slides do you want, or cards. Now, I have the premium version because I got access to it through a friend. So I can make 30-page decks. In this case, we can only use 8 because it's free. On the left, you can say, do I want to generate, how do I want the content? Do I want it condensed? Do I want it brief, text per card, medium, detailed? Let's go to brief. There we go. And then I can play around with images and all that kind of stuff. But for now, let's just hit continue. And let's just pick a theme. On the right, you can pick any of these kinds of themes you want. Depends on your favorite color. Perfect. Let's click that one and hit generate. Now, again, the Wi-Fi is a little slow, but typically, wait, did it already go? Wow. Oh, look at that. Where's the music? Okay. All right. So, yeah. There we go. All right, now, okay, I got 3 minutes. So I did this at the CCC AOE workshop. I was doing a Leadership 2.0, facilitating leadership training, and I did this for some of the group. And they did it, and one person said, well, the photos don't really, they're not really representative of, like, my students, right? So the great thing about these models is you can train them. So I said, well, change your prompt. Tell it that you would like to create this, but you need it to be reflective of students who are of the demographics of the Lancaster area or for Antelope Valley College. It's going to pull that public information into the model, and it will generate photos that are representative of your students. Okay? So, and if it doesn't, then you got to keep asking it. Just keep asking it. Don't get frustrated. It's learning. It's like a toddler. Still going to throw Cheerios at you even if you tell it not to. Okay? So you got to keep training it. Here's the power of our system. We are 2.2 million students. The most diverse public higher education system in the world. Sonia wants us to be at 3 million students, Chancellor Christian, in very near term. There are 6.8 million adult learners, low-income adult learners, who do not have a credential, certification, or certificate in California. We are laser focused on serving that population. Okay? If we can teach them to use AI, not only teach them, but we teach them to train AI. When they do prompts, they make sure that the results are reflective of the person that's using it. And that will train the AI to produce those results. It will learn based on your queries what you want. So every time you teach it what you want, you should be including some demographic information about who you are. And it will learn. And when you teach 2.2 million students to do that, imagine the power and the impact and the agency and the ownership that we as a system have. Part of my job is strategic partnerships. When partners come to me, I'm very clear about what I just said to you. It is my job to protect our students, our learners, our faculty, our classified professionals, our staff. Yes, we will partner with you, but we have some very, very clear standards and protocols around the privacy of our students' data and our faculty data and how these tools will impact our learners and our communities. I wanted to show this to you today to conclude with this because I want you to see the power of AI, but I also want you to understand that there are still a lot of challenges out there. And we have a role in mitigating those challenges and problems because we can. And as Chancellor Christian says, the time is now. So, thank you. Do I have time for any questions? Yeah? Okay, I'll take 1 or 2 questions. Yes. Who are you? What's your name? What do you do? Excellent. %. That's right. That's right. Great question, and absolutely appropriate. So when I talk to you about PlayLab, the chatbot tool, so when we partner with PlayLab, PlayLab will allow you to have access to Claude and chatbot ChatGPT for free, the premium versions. So it is my responsibility. Literally, I'm going to take on, this is my promise to you. My responsibility as strategic partnership lead for the system is to ensure that the things that you just described are not barriers to the use for you as faculty, for staff and classified professionals, and ultimately to our students. Because I know that there are students who are privileged, who can pay for the premium models, and those who are not, who are going to use the free models, and the results are going to be different. So that is laser focus for me. So thank you for that. And as far as the training goes, it's imperative on you to create within your system communities of practice to start to play with the tools. Not everyone has to be proficient on every tool, but all of you in your department should be playing with different tools and teaching each other. Start with the free versions. Get familiar with them. I don't really know Gamma that well, honestly. I've had it for a couple of months. I haven't had time to play with it, right? So, but you have to play with it. Start with the free versions. Get comfortable with it. If it seems impactful and effective, teach others, and then you find the resources to pay for it. Again, as we build out those other partnerships that I described, my goal is 2 or 3 years of funding from the system to allow you to use the tools, to play with the tools, to see if they work. And if you don't like them, you don't. And if they do, then you build it into your core funding at the campus. But you've got 2 to 3 years to figure that out, right? We can't bear that burden forever, but we can help on the launch side to mitigate some of that, right? All right, one more question. Good. Okay, there we go. Well, the first thing I would say is what I just described, play with it. But the second thing is sit down with your students, find out where they are, and then work with them to help you figure out how to integrate the AI into your discipline. I think that's so essential because, that's one slide I put up there. That's part of a global study, but it says the same thing in local studies. 86% of students are already using it, right? So they're a valuable resource. They're our most valuable and most treasured resource. Bring them to the table. And if they're uncomfortable, it's our job to make the space psychologically safe, right, to do that. So play with the tools and then bring students in. And the other thing I would say is this. You said one, but I'm going to give you a last one, and I got to go. I'm getting the hook, from like.
Not at all. Not at all. We just want to thank you.
Yeah. Volunteer to serve on committees to build the practice and the protocols.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Kathy.
much. This was truly
John Days Rougeau, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you, and again, truly inspiring. And I want to mention that we have multiple sessions, communities of practice this afternoon. So please take advantage of it, and I look forward to seeing you there. And thank you again. This was fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, and now we're going to take a lunch break. Everyone's going to go to lunch on their own and then be back here at 12:30. Thank you.